Welcome to the Golf Parent.
What you
What's a feel that we can look for to make sure that we're in more of a neutral lower body feel?
Yeah, it's so if you stand straight up and down, and I appreciate
Hmm.
this is a podcast, so I'll try and be as descriptive as I can versus just hopping out of my chair right now and demoing it. But if you stand straight up and down, and if you peek in the mirror and try and make your belt line dead flat or parallel to the ground. So you'll probably feel like you're tucking your pelvis under your upper body slightly. Most people, when they stand, and if you look in the side onto a mirror, you'll see your belt
Be at an
is at a
angle.
slight tilt.
Yeah.
Exactly. If you can standing just straight up and down, if you can make your tuck your pelvis and make your belt line be parallel to the ground, you will feel a very neutral lower back. And then from there, hinge over, have some pelvic, then tilt, keeping that same flatness that you're now feeling in your lower back. That will very quickly do it.
Fantastic. And that would also, I'm assuming, create a more stable foundation as well to be swinging from, because there's one less variable because you've activated and engaged this very important part of the whole foundation, which everything's kind of moving and spinning around, as opposed to potentially allowing that cupping of the lower back to change throughout the swing.
Correct, and it's going to like, your pelvis is going to go into a cupping and tucking throughout the swing. However, you kind of want to have you want it to happen at the right time.
Sure.
And so if you start in that very neutral, it very naturally it'll move as we would prefer. Again, I wish there was like one swing that could like really eliminate all lower back injuries for any age of golfer, but if you can start with a neutral spine, you dramatically increase your chances of lowering the risk of injury. And I want everyone to play as much golf as possible, as healthily as possible.
So if you were to ask, or if you were to look to one swing right now on tour that you think, knock on wood here, would give that athlete the best chance of longevity based on their swing, whose swing would you model?
Great question. Probably. So if you look at Ludwig's swing, so he stands very close to the golf ball, very neutral lower spine, and he kind of pushes away from the golf ball the whole time. He almost creates space throughout his golf swing because he starts so close to it and in a very like upright posture. I'm risking that upright word there to maybe overused. But it's very neutral in terms of how he stands. He stands really close to it, and then he can create space throughout the swing. So that would be a good model from at least a setup standpoint. Another way you can check the setup um, that creates the nice balance from lower to upper body is, again, if you look at your swing take a picture of your golf swing from that down the line perspective. If you can imagine a vertical line dropping from the armpit, going through the front of the kneecap, kind of into the middle of the shoelaces, that's a kind of a nice balancing point of upper center versus lower center. And again, like you couple that with a nice flat neutral lower spine, lower back, you're in a pretty darn good spot to get things moving, creating some space, and hopefully flushing the golf ball.
Well on your way. What's your theory on why are we seeing over the last decade so many good Scandinavian golfers coming into the tour?
Um,
There's a lot of them.
There's a lot. There's absolutely, and I think clearly their national team programs should be commended. That would be the without having gone there to see their national team programs in action. Small population densities, limited seasons. Clearly, their national team programs are highly supportive of their players as they're developing and growing from a holistic model. And that's why the USGA is in, I think it's year two or maybe year 1.5 of their US national team program. And I do know that the folks who started that program before they really got going, they visited all sorts of national team programs all over the world to try and pick and choose the best pieces of it. So those early development national team programs up in the Scandinavian countries clearly
They're
deserve
doing
a lot
something
of
right.
credit. Yeah, yes, they are.